I made a lot of mistakes as a fruitarian over the 10 years that I was eating a fruit-based diet. And in this video, I'm going to give you 3 of the top mistakes I made. And if you're a fruitarian right now, maybe these are 3 of the mistakes that you're making right now, or you know other people are making, or if you're thinking about being fruitarian, these are my top 3 mistakes I made as a fruitarian in no particular order. But the third one, make sure you stick around for the third one, because that third one is going to save all of your relationships in life. So if you value your relationships, stick around for the third mistake I made. But the first mistake I made, the one that's going to save you thousands of dollars, is not taking care of my teeth. Meaning, I would go weeks without brushing my teeth. I'd rinse my mouth between meals or whatever, and I'd, maybe brush occasionally, but I was never consistent for any period of weeks, ever. Up until about maybe 4 or 5 years ago. But the first 4 or 5 years of being fruitarian, I didn't take care of my teeth because I thought I wanted to be really, really natural and just do what animals in nature did, which is not brush teeth. And so I just really neglected my oral hygiene. As a result, I got cavities. And then I learned how cavities form. And it turns out, here's how cavities form. Okay, cavities form when there's food left on your teeth. Bits of bacteria go when they eat that food, and when they poop out acid. And that acid erodes your teeth. What I found is that a cavity cannot develop in the body, in the mouth, if the teeth are clean. So it's like, if your teeth are clean, there's no chance of ever getting a cavity. Doesn't matter what diet you're eating. You could be eating a calcium deficient diet, a vitamin D deficient diet, a B12 deficient diet. Doesn't matter what diet you're eating. If your teeth are clean, they can't get a cavity. I remember the first time I heard that, it was like a light bulb moment. I was like, wow, so if I just keep my teeth clean, I'm good. I'm never going to get another cavity. And my dentist friend's like, yeah, absolutely. I've asked this to every other dentist I've been to since. They've all agreed. They said the same thing. They said, if the teeth is clean, there's no food on it, there's no possible way a cavity could ever develop. If you want a full video talking about oral hygiene, an interview with a dentist, I'll post them in the description below. If I forget to post the video of me and the dentist, remind me in the comments to post the damn link, and I'll post it. Thanks. Now, the second thing I want to talk about, the second mistake I made as a fruitarian, and this again applies to any diet you're on. I just happen to be eating fruit for the past 10 years, so I happen to know fruitarian mistakes. The mistake I was making was I was always having my insulin up. My insulin was always up because I was always eating. I was eating from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. I'd wake up, I'd eat throughout the day, I'd graze. I'd eat in the evening at 10 p.m. This does 2 things. Actually, this does 3 things. This eating throughout the day, grazing throughout the day is a huge mistake, and it does 3 things to your body. Number 1, your sugar is always in your teeth, so way higher chance of getting a cavity. Second thing is your insulin is always up. And when insulin is up, human growth hormone cannot be released, and human growth hormone is the hormone of youth. The third thing it does is it just distracts you. You're eating all day. How can you possibly be productive in flow state when you're eating all day, going up and getting in the kitchen all day? So grazing was a big mistake I made on a fruitarian diet. It's a thing I see a lot of people do. You can feel great on it, absolutely, but it's like you just can't get in a flow state with your work as well, and you're not going to be able to build as much lean muscle, and you are always going to have sugar on your teeth. So grazing is a big mistake I made, and I hope you don't do it. The solution to it is intermittent fasting. Some people call this an eating disorder. Some people on Instagram call it restrictive eating and then binge eating, whatever. You can call it whatever you like. I call it intermittent fasting. There's so many benefits to fasting. If you want the full documentary of it, you can go to fastingmovie.org or fastingmovie.com. I forget. I'll post a link in the description though. Amazing documentary about fasting and the benefits of it. And it goes through all these different people around the world and shows how they've benefited just by doing I think it's like a 12-hour fast each day. Now, personally, for me, I do a 20-hour fast each day, and I eat within a 4-hour window, give or take, maybe 6 hours or maybe 8 hours at the most, but unlikely. But typically 4 to 6 hours I eat all my food in, and there's so many benefits to intermittent fasting. I can make a whole video about that, but a few of the benefits are, number 1, you can be way more productive because you don't have food coming in your system. You can just focus on working or doing whatever you got to do. The second thing is, and you're not going to be tired, by the way. When you're not eating, you're not going to be tired. You're not going to be hungry either. Because you can train yourself very, very quickly to not have the hunger hormone get released when you're not eating. And you're not going to be tired either because your body's naturally going to be releasing energy because you're going to be doing what you want to do for work. And humans would not have survived if we got tired and sluggish in a week if we skipped a meal. We're able to skip meals, man. We don't need to freaking eat first thing in the morning. I mean, you do if you always do, because that's when your hunger hormone gets released. But you can quickly adapt to intermittent fasting very, very easily. So I eat at 12 noon and I stop eating at 4 p.m. Now, the other benefits to intermittent fasting, in addition to being more productive, is you have much more human growth hormone getting released. Because human growth hormone gets released when insulin is not present. And insulin is always present when you're eating food. Once you stop eating food, insulin goes down, human growth hormone comes up. You can't have both at the same time. You either have insulin, insulin's good, it's not a bad thing, but when insulin is present, you can't have human growth hormone. And human growth hormone is going to help you build lean muscle, help burn fat, and help you look a lot younger as you get older. Now, the third benefit to intermittent fasting, again, is the opposite of the downside of grazing, and that is that you're not going to have food on your teeth all the time. You're going to have food on your teeth for a short period of time, a 4-hour window of time if you're eating in a 4-hour window, 6-hour window of time if you're eating a 6-hour window, etc., etc. So those are huge benefits of intermittent fasting right there, and it's something I really wish I did as a fruitarian. It's only something I started doing within the past year or two here, and I freaking love it. Cannot believe I didn't do it earlier, and I'm a huge proponent for it now. The third mistake that I made as a fruitarian, this is the one that's going to save your relationships. The third mistake I made as a fruitarian is thinking that everyone else should eat a fruitarian diet too. And if they're not eating a fruitarian diet, then they're idiots. They're just addicts, and they're like failures of human beings. Now, I didn't really believe that intensely, that like people were like idiots and losers and stuff, but like subconsciously I was always thinking like, oh, they could do better. They could do better with their diet. And it was always just like, I was like seeing the world with this filter on, seeing everyone like, I'm like, oh, he should be eating fruitarian diet. She should be eating fruitarian diet. And if anyone talked against fruitarian diet, I was like, oh, they know nothing. They're idiots. They know nothing. But now that I've stepped out of the fruitarian circle, like I still am a huge proponent for fruitarianism. Let's get that clear. I still believe a fruit diet is the world's best diet. Absolutely. I just think it's very difficult to do it in places where you're not surrounded by an abundance of locally grown organic fruit. But that's another story. It's another video. So the issue I was having, the mistake I made, is just thinking and casting and projecting on other people, thinking like everyone should be eating a fruitarian diet. And if they're not, they're just doing it wrong. They're not eating as good as they could be, and they're just not as good as they could be as people. It's just some stupid filter I had, some stupid belief, and it just didn't allow me to connect and bond with people who weren't eating a fruitarian diet. It's funny now because my girlfriend is a fruitarian, and we got together when I was still eating a fruitarian diet, and now I'm not eating a fruitarian diet, and she fully accepts me. She's cooking everything for me. Like, she loves it. She doesn't care. She doesn't care if I'm eating fruitarian, she prefers if I eat fruitarian, but she doesn't care if I'm eating fruitarian or if I'm eating cooked food, as long as it's vegan. So yeah, that's the mistake I was making, and now it's so much easier for me to accept people from all walks of life, no matter what diet they're eating. Even if they're not eating vegan, I can accept them so much easier now, because I know what it's like to step out of a rigid identity as someone who just eats fruit. So that's it. Hope you guys liked this video. If you did and you want to learn more, hey, watch the next video. And if you want to learn what I do for a living, I know a lot of people are curious, Ted, what do you do for a living? How can you make these YouTube videos and just live where you want to live, drive the car you want to drive, and have the kind of lifestyle you have? How do you do it? I'll post a link for the class down in the description. I'll show you exactly how I do what I do for a living, but it's essentially selling online courses and online coaching. So if you're into being a coach or interested in selling online courses, link in description is where you're going to get all the information for that. All right, peace out, much love. See you in the next video.